Welcome back. Let's talk about the telecom space now, which has been in action for a while. After the Vodafone FPO and with stocks like Bharti Airtel sitting at fresh 52-week highs, the question we're asking is, how much is the kind of investment or interest in this space now? Purushothaman KG, the partner and head digital solutions and telecommunications industry leader at KPMG India, is here to take some questions. Purushothaman, thanks a lot for joining in. I want to understand first from you what this means for the telecom industry, right? On one hand, you've had a good set of numbers coming in from Reliance Jio, Bharti Airtel is thriving, and now the Vodafone Idea has also got a great subscription for its FPO. What does all of this mean for the sector overall?
So firstly, thank you for having me here. And from a sector perspective, you might have seen a quarter-on-quarter growth, an improvement in the sector, not only from a tariff perspective, but also steady subscription growth. 5G auctions have now, the first level of 5G auctions have been rolled out a few years back, and the rollout of the sites and also subscribers have steadily gone up. What it means is confidence on firstly, the rollout of 5G and its utility. The tariffs have actually improved, and that has helped to improve the ARPU for most of the operators. It has also been a factor of some of the 4G subscribers, 2G subscribers moving to 4G and so on and so forth. Steady increase in the number of rollouts of sites, etc. So what it means is that the sector itself is doing extremely well because it is the foundation of the digital economy. Last year, into 2023, we also witnessed the rollout of the new Telecom bill, the data privacy bill, and a few other initiatives which are taking the sector in the right direction. The things are very positive. Operational metrics have improved for the telecom operators. There is more focus on operations, rollout of capex in a very efficient manner, and you are seeing the results. Although it is far from achieving the real objective, because the rollout of networks, as you know, 5G networks is hardly as per the expectations. Approximately 10,000 sites are getting rolled out. We are sitting at around 500,000 odd 5G sites. With the expectation that nearly 50% of the tower sites should be captured by 5G. We are far from that capex rollout expectations as of today. And the announcements that you've seen on the Vodafone FPO, as well as some of the other initiatives that other operators are doing, is to obviously improve the capex rollout and also to focus on how they can service the customers beyond just voice and data, because data, most of the telcos are now moving into a platform player, a techno player, rather than just a plain vanilla pipe.
Purushothaman, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining in. You may be having a lot of conversations on ground with a lot of investors and within your own research as well. What is the sentiment with regards to the telecom sector right now? With these latest turn of events over the last month and a half, does it give you enough confidence to say that, okay, the telecom sector is now going to be a 3-player market for sure going into the next 2, 3, 5 years?
Absolutely. There is increased confidence, and it's not a 3-operator sector. It's actually a 4-operator sector. But the way we need to look at telecom is not just the operators, but the whole ecosystem. The OEMs, that have actually supported the actual rollout of the networks. The role that the ecosystem partners have played, cloud service providers have played, data service providers have played, content providers have played in actually uplifting the sector cannot be ignored. So the operators play a very critical role in the whole process because they roll out the infrastructure. And on ground, with the partnerships that each of them have actually worked with some of the enterprise providers, data providers, content providers, there is a fair amount of confidence in it, in the sector itself. How that is going to convert into increase in subscriber numbers is a factor of two things. One is how effective is the network in the specific area that the subscriber is, which is gradually improving at this stage. And the second, obviously, is the quality of content that the operators are also able to provide. These are two important factors. And the third important thing that you might also want to consider is that, as I mentioned, telcos are no longer a voice or a data provider. They are going beyond the actual the previous services to provide services such as data centers, CDN services, CPaaS services, and so on and so forth. And that is increasing and uplifting the game, working with the entire ecosystem to make it work. So overall, there is a very great positivity on the ground, and that's translating in terms of the numbers as well.
Let's also talk a little bit about tariff hikes, right? There is an expectation that the street has that these telcos will take almost 15 to 20% tariff hikes post the elections. Do you think that could be digested by the markets? I think the last tariff hike was taken way back in 2021.
So all of us are aware that India has the lowest ARPU in the world and the best content when it comes to the quality of content as well as the variety of content that is being provided. In the last 1.5 years, you might have seen a steady increase in tariffs, and that was actually evident, and that was clearly required because you had to get an ROI on the rollout of 5G and some of the content that is being provided. On your question on whether there will be further increase, there is expected to be a further increase in the tariffs. How much that will be is a matter of question, and when it will come in is also something that is not expected. There is a possibility that it could be in the next quarter. On your question on whether it can be absorbed by the subscriber or not, if you look at how the customers are actually getting value out of the combined offers and combined offers that the telcos are actually providing, the bundled offers that they are providing, they are actually bringing a lot of ecosystem partners together. And most of the tariff increase that you will see are on those kind of bundles. It is not just on voice and data. The customers are really looking for that value. And if the operators are not able to provide that consolidated bundled value, they will not, it will not get accepted. So I strongly see that wherever you see a increase in tariff, it will be on the basis of a sheer value that the telcos will provide.
What about AGR dues, Purushothaman? Because over the last few years, a lot of these companies have been weighed down by these AGR dues, resulting in piling up of net debt and resulting in the situation that the sector found itself in a few months back. Do you see some bit of relief coming in on that front as well from the government, considering that the market needs to thrive as well with all these companies? Do you see some relief coming in on this AGR front as well?
So if you notice all the efforts that the government has actually taken in the last few years on bringing in new policies, relaxing a lot of the dues of certain operators over a period of time, also relaxing the payment terms for even the spectrum usage charges and things like that. The government has taken those initiatives. There is currently no information that is available if there will be further announcements that will happen. But from the previous announcements and some of the policies that have been rolled out, it is over a period of 20 years. There are relaxations that have been available. Even for the new spectrum auction that is expected in June, those continue. So those policies have already been rolled out, and there is clarity with the operators. Some of the tariff increases that we are seeing is actually helping the operating margins of the telcos to also improve. So in the absence of any further information from the ministry on any further relaxation, I think with the existing clarity, a lot of things are being worked out.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for joining in and explaining the situation to us. Very helpful there. Earlier today, we had a chat with Vineet Sambre, the head of equities at DSP Mutual Fund. Let's listen in to what his view is on the telecom sector. We'll come back.
I think clearly the whole sector actually has seen the revival after this, big shift which is there. I mean, earlier the doubts were cast whether the third player will survive or no. And even today, when we look at the balance sheet of the third player, I mean, things are still up there for them as a challenge in terms of bringing down the overall liability. But now with the fundraise, with the intent, it seems that they will survive. And more importantly, I think what for the sector as a whole, the most important matrix which looks like improving going forward is the ARPU level, which has been slow in terms of the historical changes in the past. So I think if that moves up, it brings about a positive change for the sector.
That's all the updates from the telecom space, possibly the sector of the week. But let's get into a short break now. But before that, it's time to shine the spotlight on the backbone of our economy, and that is a celebration of your impact on India's success story. CNBC-TV18 and HSBC India proudly present India's biggest SME awards platform, honoring the small and medium enterprises that drove our nation's growth. Nominations are open now, and we invite you to become an SME champion. Your dreams power India's progress, and it's time to celebrate them. Scan the QR code now and be a part of this monumental recognition at the SME Champion Awards. It's not just a platform, but an opportunity for you to step into the limelight.